Good morning, my beautiful brothers and sisters in Yeshua. Today is Tuesday, the 19th of November, 2024. It is 11:49 a.m. here in Australia. I hope you're doing very well and I hope you've been blessed. Brothers and sisters, I'm just sitting here doing some study. I've got so many notes in front of me, paper notes, notes on my phone, notes on my computer, and my mind is about to go. So I thought I'd better sit down and try and get some of this out and make a video. And just as I'm sitting here trying to, see where to start from, I was searching for something and it happened to reference Mark 9. So I thought I'll have a look at Mark 9 and I'll read the whole chapter. And I tell you what, I've definitely got my conversation starter because I've got some interesting things to share with you, brothers and sisters. Okay, so when I first saw this, when I first looked at Mark 9 and read verse 1, straight away I thought, hang on, there's something sus here. Because in Mark 9 verse 1, it says, "And he said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that there be some of them that stand here that shall not taste of death till they have seen the kingdom of God come with power." And then verse 2, "And after 6 days Jesus taketh with him Peter and James and John, and leadeth them up to a high mountain apart by themselves, and he was transfigured before them. His raiment became shining, exceedingly white as snow, so as no fuller on earth can white them." Okay. "And there appeared unto them Elias with Moses, and they were talking with Jesus. And Peter answered and said to Jesus, Master, it is good for us to be here, and let us make 3 tabernacles, one for thee, one for Moses, and one for Elias." Now, I'm going to read the rest in a second, but I don't want to get too carried away because there's so many good nuggets here. The first one I want you to notice, brothers and sisters, is in Matthew. I haven't checked in Luke yet because I had to rush on here and do this because this is quite significant. So in Matthew, it is Matthew chapter 16, verse 28, that says, "Verily there shall be some standing here that shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in the kingdom." Then it goes to Matthew 17, a completely new chapter, and then it says, "After 6 days Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John, his brothers, and bring them up to the high mountain." Now, why that's so significant is because, one, like I've always stated, Mark is the original gospel. Matthew and Luke copied off Mark and added the drama of the birth story and the resurrection story. Okay, this is highly significant. When you put a saying as important as what Jesus said, where he said, "See you guys standing in front of me, you guys will not see death until you see the Son of Man coming into the kingdom." So he's saying, before you die, you guys standing right in front of me will see this, the kingdom, the Son of Man coming in the kingdom. Okay, and then in Matthew and Luke, it goes into different chapters. Okay, so a lot of people stop reading after one chapter. But with Mark, it shows you that Jesus says this. There's going to be, you guys that are standing in front of me, you're not going to see death until you see the kingdom of God come in with power. And then the very next verse, it happens. "And after 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James, and John, led them up to a high mountain, and then Jesus transfigured, or was changed in the twinkling of an eye." Jesus literally got his, what you would call in Christian terminology as your incorruptible body. Okay, so they literally witnessed. This was a literal statement here, but the way the teachers of the word will say this is a future event, that you're going to get your incorruptible body or your... And all this is really saying is a fancy word for saying, if you use the practices I teach you, if you go the way that I showed you, then you will be able to enlighten yourself so much to live in love and light and harmony and peace that you will transfigure. You will transfigure and you won't see death, because there is no such thing as death, brothers and sisters. So I thought this was incredibly, incredibly important because it shows you yet again, and it proves, like Matthew 24, that's already come and gone. And, people are still persistent on Matthew 24 and the Great Tribulation and the Book of Revelation all coming in the future, and it's coming right now and everything. So my video today, the way I can explain things is by drawings. So what I've done is a simple drawing in hopes to explain the truth of what's really going on here, brothers and sisters. So, as you can see in front of you, hopefully, you can see these blue lines, right? These two blue lines represent two train tracks. And right now they're parallel next to each other. And the train track on the left is a 3D train track, which is the world we're currently in at the moment. A lot of us are deeply, deeply ingrained and deeply rooted in living in a 3D vibration, which simply means negativity, fear, oh my goodness, the world is ending, oh my goodness, the wars, oh my goodness, the FEMA camps, all that kind of stuff, okay? Watching the news all the time and getting your information from the media, etc., etc. Okay, and then the track on the right is the 4D, 5D train track, okay? And the one on the right is where I'm on, okay? I'm on that train. I have got my bags packed. As I've said for many years, I've got my Jesus bags packed. They're at the door. They've been ready to go for a long, long time. So what's happening, brothers and sisters, is this is what the Bible talks about, where the wheat and the tares will grow up. I'm not saying the people in 3D are bad people or tares, in that respect. It's more that they just can't let go of the fear. You can say... you can say to a person who's a Christian who fears a lot and who's like, oh, this is a sign of, the Great Tribulation. We're going to have to go through it. We're going to have to get our heads cut off. We're going to have to prove, we're not worthy and we must die and go all through these things, right? That is effectively, brothers and sisters, what these people want. And we can't help them anymore. We can only do videos like this or give messages or live in love and light and let your light shine brightly, like literally, brothers and sisters, and help people and let them know that there's another option. There's another option. And I'm going to do my best to explain why it's so confusing, okay? Now we need to take religion out of it. That is so vitally important. Get rid of Christianity. Everybody needs to deconstruct from Christianity because all Christianity is religion. Jesus never wanted worship ever. Brothers and sisters, the Trinity, the whole, worshipping Jesus, the whole blood covering you and the death and the blood and the gore, that's all a man-made thing to keep you in a state of fear. Jesus never wanted that. Jesus came to be an example of the will of the Father. And Jesus said it in 2 commandments. This is all you have to know. Love the Father with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love each other as you love yourself. Okay. So getting back to these train tracks. Okay, right now they're parallel, but brothers and sisters, I can hear the train tracks, like that smoke is puffing, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, it is ready to leave the station. Now, a lot of people will be like, okay, the biggest reason I want to bring this video across is my support for Trump. I've got to do everything I can with my voice, my opinion, my heart, my soul in these last moments, okay, while everyone's making their final decisions of which side of the fence they're going to sit on. And for many years, I screamed from the mountaintops that Trump was the Antichrist, okay? So I know, I have been there, but I've also allowed Father to take me on a journey where I have given him permission to take me to the depths of hell, if need be, to see the truth. And I will stand by that. You know, many people say, oh, who you're listening to, you're going to this new age, it's all, it's all deception, you're being trapped right near the end, and I'll pray for you, Rebecca. Look, I love you, brothers and sisters, and I respect that you feel like that, because I do love you. And we're all here on our own journey. And I'm going to keep loving on you no matter what your opinion of me is. But I'm here to show you that there are other options out there, okay? So, being on this train track, ready to go on 4D, 5D, okay, we have Trump in the red. Trump wearing the red tie, okay? The good guy. Believe me, he is a good guy, brothers and sisters. I have a video here that I'll try and show you. I'll get to it and stuff like this. But it's a video from the prophet Kim Clement, and it was done in the year 2007. And this man already predicted with fervency that Trump would be a trumpet, and that he was going to stop a witch from coming into the White House, and that he was going to bring peace on earth, and that he was going to stop the wars, and he was going to... This was done in 2007, brothers and sisters. This man, Trump, has had hands upon him praying fervent prayers in the name of Jesus. Yes, the devils believe in Jesus and they tremble, but guess what? They could never have the hand of a praying Christian, never have the hand of a praying person of God on them. And in Kim Clement's prophecies, he said this man will come in as a praying man, but not a religious man. And he won't really know God when he comes in, but that God was going to put the Holy Spirit of fire on him. And you've seen what happened, brothers and sisters. They've tried to literally take this man's life twice. More times probably than we know. I have no doubt in my soul, mind, heart and spirit that Donald J. Trump is, is a really, really wonderful guy, and will be the guy that will effectively save the world. Okay? Effectively, he will save the world. And no, I'm not saying, I worship him, he's going to save the world. I know I'm going to get that, the only person that can save is Jesus. I get where you're coming from. But look, if you want to say this world's gone on for 6,000 years or 10,000 years or 1,000,000 years, whatever, why hasn't Jesus come back before that? You know what I'm saying? Why hasn't he done that? Because, brothers and sisters, Jesus came to show you how to act, to show you how to stand up, to show you the power that you have. He even said out of his own mouth, all these things that I do, like raising people from the dead, turning water into wine, walking on water. He said, all these things that I do, you're going to do greater. You're going to do all of them plus greater. Brothers and sisters, you have to understand, and I want to show you this Bible quote here. Remember the Centurion? Okay, remember the Centurion? He came rushing to Jesus and said, my servant's sick. And Jesus was like, all right, I'm coming. And then the Centurion was like, no, you don't have to come, really. I get you're a man, a man of authority, and I'm just like you. People do what I say. I know, just give the word, and I know that my servant will be well. It's because of his faith, his belief, his trajectory, his projection, his identification with reality, brothers and sisters. And I just want to show you this bit here. Jesus said, okay, to the Centurion, go thy way, and as you have believed, so it will be done unto you. Can I stress this enough, brothers and sisters? So you believe, it will be done unto you. This is everything for this 3D, 4D timeline. I have shown you in previous videos about, in the late 90s, there was a big government secret agency that was using Project Looking Glass. And within this Project Looking Glass, it was a computer that they were dumping all this data into, trying to sway the timelines for their for their benefit, more wars, more sicknesses, more money for them, right? And they got to a halt because this computer and everything like this just kept coming to this final one inevitable timeline. They literally hired the best mathematician, problem solving guy from the CIA or whatever, and said, fix this problem. And the guy didn't know really what it was. He went in there, he did his best with how smart he was, and he came out and said, look, I don't know what you're doing, but that is literally the only inevitable timeline. There's nothing else. And then later in the interview, he said, I didn't know what that was 20 years ago, but looking at it now, I know exactly what it is. It's the Great Awakening. They cannot stop the Great Awakening. All of their bull crap, brothers and sisters, all of it, all the lies from the beginning to the end, from the religion to to the school education, to what the world really is, whether it's flat, whether it's round, whatever. It's all been a lie. And this is exactly what Jesus said, is nothing that has been covered will not be revealed, won't be revealed in the end time. Everything has to be revealed. And we're seeing this all around. It's exactly like Jesus said. Exactly like he said. So this is the reality of it, brothers and sisters. You are faced with two tickets. It is tempting. Believe me, I was stuck on this 3D doomsday train for a long time. It's tempting because for some reason you feel almost validated, like when you've been preaching about the rapture or, for a long time, and then all of a sudden something really horrible is coming passed by law, and these people are like, see, I told you, you should have listened to me. I told you this was going to happen. Now you're going to be left behind. Can you see the craziness in it? Everybody has a free will and a free choice to make the decisions whether they're going to live in their best life with the 7 virtues of the Spirit, or live in their lowest frequency with the 7 deadly sins, basically just living for self and getting nothing out of getting nothing out of existence, out of life, getting no growth or anything like this. So I know I spent a bit of time on this, brothers and sisters, but it really hit home. And this is how you can understand this, okay, is that right now there's 2 tracks parallel next to each other. 3D, which is going to Elon, with Trump, yes, being the Antichrist. And the reason this can be, brothers and sisters, don't get too carried away and say, oh, you just said he wasn't. The reason this can be that there's 2 players that are playing different roles, a good one and a bad one, is because we are all, oh my goodness, how can I even explain this? Here, I drew a picture. I'll show you. Where's my pictures? The reason, okay, let's see if I can zoom this up. The reason there can be a good Trump and a bad Trump, a good Elon and a bad Elon, okay, is because of this. This is what Father put on my spirit. And again, it's so hard to explain this stuff, and the best way I can do it is in pictures. So here up the top here, you have a picture of a cloud, which is supposed to represent heaven or wherever it was that we are still currently, our spirits are there, and that we started this whole journey, this whole human experience from, right? And we sign a life contract while we're there, because for some stupid reason we decided this was going to be a great experience, and look, let's put it this way. Yes, it is. It's a fantastic experience. No matter the hurt, the heartache, the sicknesses, the joy, the happiness, life is good in all of its ways, okay? But we signed this contract so that we would grow and learn, and like I explained to you once before, this is what resonates with me. I'm not telling you have to believe this, but I feel that God, the Father, the source is more realistically what God is, okay? The source of everything that exists. Without that source, nothing would exist, okay? So what God, we'll just call him God, what God did was he wanted to experience every possible aspect of humanity, of every motion, every this and every that and every this. That what God did is he fractalized himself, herself, itself, out into a trillion gazillion pieces, all right? And each one of those little tiny fractals is you and me. And what we're doing, we're like scouts. We're like scouts on this earth. Pardon me. We're like scouts on this earth, gathering up information and data, and we're bringing it back to the source. And like I said in a few videos ago, doesn't that make sense? If we know this, wouldn't it make sense that while we're down here, we're gathering up great data, encouraging data, exciting data, loving data, and bringing that back into the consciousness or the source or whatever? Wouldn't that be a better idea than sitting down here and being selfish and hurting people and doing bad things and all the things? Once people realize who they are, what they are, why they are, I think the whole world's going to change. And speaking of that, I think for Christians, this idea here, what I'm talking about, scares a lot of Christians, because in Christian theology, you've got, the rapture, where in the blink of an eye, you're going to get a great new body, you're going to be up in heaven, and the shit's going to go and hit the fan down on earth here, but you'll be fine, it's all going to be good. But realistically, what I'm explaining here, brothers and sisters, is a billion, million, trillion more times better. You can't even comprehend what you are. You are a spirit. You're just intangible, and you're so powerful, and we've been so imprisoned in this planet here, but the prison walls are coming down, and this is the most exciting thing. But in the Bible, it says that your hearts cannot even comprehend what's coming in store for you. You can't even comprehend the joy, the ecstasy, the fantasy, the excitement, oh my goodness, you can't even comprehend it, brothers and sisters, because we've never ever become close to it. So have no doubt in your mind that life, or the next part of our journey here, is going to be frigging incredible. And this is why the new earth, which is coming in a tangible visual form to this earth, it's happening right now before your eyes. And this is the big difference. And this is how you know that what I'm explaining here, that the new earth coming because of perception, and you realizing exactly what Jesus said when he said the kingdom of, when the Jews were coming up to him saying, "Where's the kingdom? Where is it?" And he says, "Look, you try and look for the kingdom of heaven, but I tell you this, the kingdom of heaven is something you can't observe because it is within you." Okay? It's within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you, brothers and sisters. And what are we waiting for? The kingdom of heaven to come to earth. You have to bring it to earth yourself. Stop waiting for a savior. Jesus is not going to be offended by that, brothers and sisters. He doesn't want you to wait for him. He wants you to wake up and realize that you are a child of the Most High, of the source. You are so valuable. You are so powerful. Jesus literally told you that no snakes, scorpions, or any power of evil can touch you, because that's how powerful you are. Okay? Nothing can touch you, but it's your belief. If you believe that you can be overcome by the devil, If you believe that you can have your house robbed, if you believe that, you can have bad luck and stuff like this, we've got all these stupid sayings like, oh, that's just Murphy's Law, like we literally say these things out into, the universe and then wonder why bad stuff keeps happening. Brothers and sisters, please, this is not new age garbage. This is logical, common sense, heartfelt, soul-felt advice to realize how amazing you are and how important you are. And like I've said, the Old Testament is not our Father in heaven. That Old Testament God is not our Father in heaven, and we're going to go over that again in a minute. But anyway, I'll get back to my little thingy. So we sign this contract, okay? We sign our name, sign a contract. Then we're born as a baby, okay? We're born as a baby. Wah. And then we have our first moment in this reality. Now, actually, I do want to stop here. My mind is like a maze, so you're going to have to come with me because I've just seen something here that I want to talk about real quick before I forget. Okay, so we signed this contract, right? And then I said we come down as a baby. Now, what has been in the news lately, brothers and sisters? That there's aliens in the ocean? Okay, so there's a huge thing. As you know, I think it was last week, there was a congressional hearing of UPAs or UPOs, whatever the UFO things. Anyway, it's all like common knowledge now. Like there's aliens and ships, and now they're coming out with there's 75 aliens that are under the water and all the things. So that got me thinking. I'm like, okay, why the big push with the underwater? I've heard many times in my flat earth research and stuff like that apparently NASA would be filming in pools or under the water because occasionally you could see bubbles popping up. Okay, so I thought, well, that's interesting. What if the water is actually space? And what if, Okay, what if water is actually space? And what if, like I have suggested many times before, and we'll go there, Genesis 1. Okay, you know that I believe I believe the whole Old Testament is speaking of Yahweh, which is not our Heavenly Father. He was actually a destroyer and a bloodthirsty, vengeful God. But in Genesis 1 here, you go to the names of the Bible, you can clearly see in the beginning that Elohim created the heaven and earth, right? The earth was formless and empty, the darkness. Okay, so why is there darkness? Okay, there should never be darkness around the source, around Father, around complete light and love. Okay, there you can see this is a different creation. Now, what does he do here? The Ruach Elohim, so the spirit of the Elohim, which are essentially like lower gods or the fallen ones, was hovering over the water. Now, where have we heard that story before? Matthew 1 and the story of Jesus' birth, okay? The Spirit of God hovered over Mary. This is why I don't believe in the birth story, okay? Because for one, hovering over the water, and now aliens being found in the water, look at what we look like, brothers and sisters, as a fetus. And tell me, or tell me not, that that does not look like an alien to you, like what they depict as aliens and things like this. And has anyone ever questioned the fact that for 9 months we breathe underwater? We're in like complete darkness, hovering the waters in complete darkness. So is this realistically a slow disclosure of telling us who our Creator is? Now, when I say that, don't freak out, brothers and sisters. When I say who our Creator is, I mean the creator of our meat suit. Okay? The creator of our spirit and our soul and our essence is a Father in heaven, okay? The source, all that is. But I'm trying to tell you and let you know that in Genesis 1, it clearly says that down here, okay, this is why when you put the word Elohim, the correct word, which is angels, plural, this is why it makes sense where down here it says, where is it? And the Elohim said, let us make humans in what? Our image. Okay? So our image, brothers and sisters. We are literal creations of Anunnaki, the fallen ones, the Elohim. A title's a title. It doesn't really matter at this stage anymore. But the fact is our body, our meat suit, is a literal creation of the Elohim. And this is why we could breathe underwater and not drown. This is why the story of Atlantis is the oldest in history. This is why it was said, and it makes so much sense, that in the beginning, I'm talking way beginning, before even Earth, that we'll just call them Anunnaki for the sake of it, of ease, whatever they're called. But their planet, they were getting bombarded by the sun, okay? And they realized what would stop the sun's rays so much is gold, okay? And we know that here on this earth too. So they mined all the gold on their planet, realized that they were drying up on gold. Then they came across Earth, okay, Terra. And basically there was Homo erectus, the original human beings, okay, which apparently I heard, if we were left alone and not genetically modified or DNA manipulated, we would grow and evolve to be Sasquatches. That's what the original Homo erectus, person is a Sasquatch. And apparently, anyway, I digress. But this is why this is so important and incredible. And don't forget, this is not a nightmare. This is actually really good, because this whole operation here that the Anunnaki, the fallen ones, were holding is come apart now. It's the end for them. Okay, we're going back home, brothers and sisters. This is, what needs to be remembered. But we need to know the truth. Okay, this is where we come from, brothers and sisters. This is who created us, and this is why he has so much power. This is why he was able to take Jesus up onto a mountain and say, hey, I'll give you all of this, if you only, get down and worship me. Because it's his domain. He built it. He created it. We were chilling up in heaven, brothers and sisters. And when I say heaven, because in the, you see here in Genesis 1 that the firmament's actually called heaven, okay? In this one it's called sky. But so it's not actually heaven that we want to go to. But what was I saying? What was I getting at, brothers and sisters? Let's go back to my little chart. But yeah, just with the alien thing, okay, it's not something to be freaked out about, because in reality, I reckon we were just chilling up in heaven, okay, with Father, with Source. And, like I said, Father wanted to experience everything, so he fractalized himself out and gave us a piece, okay, which was our soul, okay, because the spirit is Father's. The spirit is what connects us to God. A soul is what makes us living. There's two different things, okay? So, God fractalized himself out, gave each one of us a part of his fractal, whatever the word is. And we came down here, and I think, because light and darkness, good and evil, have to exist with each other for this to work. Otherwise, this would never have worked. And so, the whole thing's about free choice. We came down here to experience what's better. What's a better option? Darkness and destruction and misery, or hope, light and love and laughter. And, and how... So I suppose Satan decided, maybe I could do this experiment better. And this is why he created this prison planet here and trapped us down here, with the soul. I'm just yabbering, okay? I literally didn't want to make a video, but I had to get my thoughts out. Otherwise, I'm going to go insane. But I just think that, he thought he could do it better. He thought he could do it better, and he came down, and hence the reason this whole world, runs under his authority, basically. And it's our job. It's why Jesus came down. Remember when it said that Jesus, in those 3 days, he went down into the grave and he preached to the captives that were stuck down there. They were all the people that, were just under the Yahweh bull crap. Jesus went down there, said, hey, you've just been told and spun a whole heap of crap. This is the reality. This is how powerful you are. Would you like to accept it? I'm here to make you free. And they're all like, oh, yes, please. See ya. And, just thank you, Father. Something just came to my mind right now. Remember the story of when the rich man, and the poor man, like, he's begging, please give me some scraps, and then the rich guy's really mean to him, whatever. And then the rich guy ends up in hell, and the poor guy ends up in Abraham's bosom. And the rich guy's like screaming over to Abraham saying, oh, give me a drip of water for my tongue, it's so hot over here. And Abraham's saying, there's a huge chasm between us, I can't get to you. And then the guy's like, oh, Abraham, please go and appear to my brothers, they'll believe you. And Abraham literally says, it wouldn't matter if I myself walked among them, they still wouldn't believe. So what makes you think, brothers and sisters, Jesus coming back, that we would treat him any different? Look at the comparison with Trump. And no, I'm not trying to say Trump is Jesus, please don't do this. But look at the comparison. They hate him. He's not someone good to look at. He's forever, whatever he does good, they try and smear it and make it look bad. Okay, they've tried to assassinate him twice, and probably many more times. He was put on trial, continuously on trial for things he never did. His mum's name's Mary. Okay, his dad's name's Franklin Christ. Donald Trump's uncle is John Trump, who worked alongside Nikola Tesla. And Tesla wanted nothing more than free electricity and just help for humanity. And the government didn't like that, like they always have. I better keep on track. So John Trump, which is Donald Trump's uncle, has all of these patents and stuff of what Nikola has. And this is why Donald Trump is the best person to believe that will bring out the med beds. And having Elon, with his genius brain, will be able to get this rolled out everywhere, like he did with Starlink, to all the people who were stuck in the floods in America. Their own government, your own government, American government, was like, FEMA was like, no, you can't go in there, you can't help them. People with their own private helicopters were like, we'll fly in there. And they're like, no fly zone. So finally, Elon was able to get Starlink to everyone so that they could at least reach out and get help. Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, this is a brilliant, wonderful plan. And all the people who you thought had died, like Princess Diana, JFK, Michael Jackson, Tupac, they're all alive, brothers and sisters. They're all about to come out and disclose who did what to them and about how evil their industries are. They've got one for each industry. movie industry, Marilyn Monroe is still alive. The music industry, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, they're all still alive, brothers and sisters, because death is not real. This is literally a dream. What is happening right now is a dream that you're dreaming, and we think it's real. It's not. None of it is real. And how can I prove that? Okay, how can I prove that? Let's go back to my little pictures here. Okay, there's this experiment, okay? Okay, I'll just finish. Okay, I'm all over the shop. Okay, so like I said, you're a baby, so you have one moment, okay, your first moment. Then that breaks off into 2, then that breaks off into 4, then that breaks off into 8, then 16, 32, etc., etc. These are all moments in time. Brothers and sisters, do you realize that time does not exist in a linear, that means straightforward fashion? It doesn't go from 1 o'clock to 12 o'clock. It does not exist, brothers and sisters. The only moment that exists is like literally right now. There's no past and there's no future. This is why they're trapping you with this revelation crap, because there is no thing as the future, brothers and sisters. I know this sounds incredible, and until you really search and search and search and listen to people who are a lot more smarter in this, like, quantum physics and entanglement theories and all that kind of stuff, once you watch that over and over and over again to try and grasp it at least a little bit, what I'm telling you here makes so much sense, okay? Each moment that you have in your life is like, remember when we grew up, we had those choose your own adventure books, and it would be like, Sally and John go riding in the to the park. Do they option A, stop at the shop and get snacks, or option B, go down to the creek, that kind of thing? It's literally what our life is, brothers and sisters. And all these lines here, there's millions and billions of lines, they represent all of our other timelines. So, for instance, like when you had a decision, should I take this job and stay here, or should I go back to university where I used to live? Okay, and then you choose the job here. And so your other timeline where you went back to university where you used to live still continues on, but in a moment. It's like a continuous, like, woo, 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 woo. Okay? It still continues. I know this sounds trippy, but in my head it makes complete sense, and I never thought I'd be in this position right now, believe me. So, and this here in the middle is the straight and narrow path, what Jesus is talking about. This path you can stay on if you live in love and your most authentic self. Jeez, I had to twist my tongue around that one. Authentic self. And what that means is your truest self. What makes you the happiest, what makes you joyful, what makes you just at peace, that's your most authentic self. If you do that, live in love and kindness and respect and forgiveness in yourself, then everything will be revealed. Everything will be revealed. You have to know your worth, okay? You have to know your worth, okay? And then we're finally going to get to the end here where there's, like I said, we're going to come back down in a diamond fashion, because all these timelines, these billions of timelines that they've been playing for years and years and years. See, this is why media exists, brothers and sisters. If they can start a propaganda and get millions of people to believe in the same thought, in the same timeline, do you get it? In the same timeline, then how many millions and billions of people will live through that timeline? And how many millions and billions of people will go through a war, will go through famine, will go through pestilence, will go through, all the things. But when you say, no, enough, I am not on that timeline, I am walking in my most authentic self, and I'm going to walk the narrow pathway in love and light, then that is really, and look at this. I wrote this little thing here because it occurred to me last night. I freaked out when I had this little download. But memory, okay, because people will go, memory proves the past. I remember when I was on that roller coaster when I was 7 years old. 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 7 ye Does it really prove the past? Listen to this, brothers and sisters. Memory exists only in a state of consciousness, okay? Memory only exists when you're thinking about it. And the reason a memory cannot be tangibly relived is because because only now exists. Only this moment now exists. That's where you can never relive a memory. Now, memory proves that time doesn't exist. And I tell you the biggest proof of why memory proves time doesn't exist. I was lying there last night, and because I've been thinking about dementia patients, because I've been thinking a lot about memory, because in the last 3 weeks before I got into this, I was saying to my mum and dad and my friends, I'm like, man, my memory is so bad. It's just unbelievably bad. I can't believe it. I will literally be talking and go, what was I saying? And so, I paid attention to this. And now it makes sense that all my memory, I don't need to remember the past because the past never existed. This is why they literally say every day is a new day, you start again. There can be nothing more closer to the truth. Okay, now think of a memory. Do this experiment with me right now and I'll prove it to you. Think of a great memory of when you were a kid, okay? Like you went to a theme park, you went on holidays, whatever. I want you to think of that memory. Okay, do that right now. Now really look around that memory. What do you notice? That you are literally only remembering one frame. Have a look around you, brothers and sisters, in your memory. Nothing in that memory, like you would think, if I'm going to remember, that time when I went on the roller coaster, you would think that I would remember the roller coaster. I would remember, like what I wore. When you've got real core memories that you still to this day, you're like, yes, that was the best day of my life. Why is it that when you think back on that memory, nothing in the surrounding area other than the thought of that memory is actually rendered? It's a freaking video game, brothers and sisters. I've worked it out. I've freaking worked it out. Think about any video game, okay? You're playing a video game, let's say Mario Brothers, okay? So you're a little character, you're cruising along in Mario World. Off to the left is the Princess Castle, right? Right up to the left. Now in the gameplay, right then and right now, the only thing that exists is right now and right then. And you as a character, right? That picture of the castle only exists as a memory, brothers and sisters. It only exists because you observe it. There's no rendering. Like, what I'm saying is Mario's standing here, right? And all the way over there's that castle. Inside that castle at that present time is nothing. Because it hasn't been observed yet, brothers and sisters. So this proves that saying, if a tree falls in the wood, would anyone hear it? No, because it doesn't actually exist. Are you following? Our life is literally like a video game, and everything that you do in your life needs to be rendered constantly. And this is what getting old is the rendering slows down. Okay, and this is why this wonderful person called Bashar that I've talked about, and he channels, his name's Daryl, but he channels an alien or another species called Bashar, right? And the advice, the knowledge is just incredible, and I cannot fault it. It is not evil, absolutely not, no. But he literally says that this is what's going on right now is a literal dream, okay? A literal dream. We're dreaming in the spirit world about having a human experience with a soul. And he has a wonderful formula which I've written somewhere. Okay. So the formula goes along the lines of live in your greatest joy, but don't live in your greatest joy. So do what makes you the happiest, in your greatest passion, without expecting any particular outcome. Okay? I've heard this many times over the last year, and I've thought, okay, that's great. Yeah, great motivational speech, until it really hit me in the last week. The key, brothers and sisters, the key is to live in your greatest joy and your greatest passion. That's doing every day what it is that you want, what it is that makes you happy, and never, ever, ever go anywhere or do anything expecting the outcome. Because that's what's trapped us, brothers and sisters. We expect the outcome. There is an experiment now, I've talked about it in my videos and shown the thing. Basically, they got protons and atoms, all right? And they've got this like laser that's shooting off these protons and atoms. And then they've got this piece of cardboard in front of it with two slits, and then a piece of cardboard behind it. Okay, they fire this laser. When it's being observed, it does what it's supposed to do. The laser, or the atoms, the protons, go through these two slits and they form two slits on the other side. Okay, but what they realized is they did that same experiment without them observing it, and when they seen the markings on the backing cardboard, they were everywhere because no one observed them. Oh man, this is incredible. Okay, so what they did was sneakily put a camera there so physical eyes didn't observe them, but a camera quickly observed them. I don't know how they did it. They were sneaky. And they showed it quickly recognizing the fact that it was recognized. Everything is alive. I cannot stress how incredible this world is and how much we're being lied to. But my whole point is, brothers and sisters, nothing, evil, goodness, happiness, joy, misery, nothing exists unless you want to observe it, unless you expect it to happen. So stop expecting any particular outcome and just start living in your best joy, in your best life. Okay, living in your best life. See, here's all the articles here. Aliens in the ocean. Scientists film footage of aliens. Lauren Boebert probes UFO experts on existence of underwater alien bases. We're going back to the beginning, brothers and sisters. We're going to be revealed to who our creators are, okay, and what they did to us. And this is going to be the trigger point, because it's going to be the only thing that's going to change keep the whole world together to fight against the real enemy. Okay? And the only way we can fight against it is to ignore it and look away from it and not observe it. Like I said in my videos, that famous Simpson episode where the mascots and the big signages in the town were taking over Springfield and destroying everything. And Lisa came up with this song, Just Don't Look, Just Don't Look. And everybody one by one turned and stopped looking at them, and they all just dissolved and fell into dust and rubble. It's that easy, brothers and sisters. It's that easy. Okay? It's that easy. Now, I've got so many things to talk to you about. I've got to be careful with my time because I've got to cook my homeless dinners tonight and pick up the kids and all the things. So, but there's so much I have to share with you. Oh my goodness, so much. Okay, I'm going to read my notes to you. I'm just going to read them like I've written them because I wrote them a few days ago. But we'll just do the best that we can. So like I said, with this diagram here, okay, we need to live in those 7 virtues of faith, good works, unity, sobriety, patience, humility, chastity. Okay, these med beds that are coming, oh my goodness, brothers and sisters, these med beds that are coming are going to, I saw something wonderful. And I know they're going to be wonderful. They're going to cure the C disease and all the things, okay? They're going to be reversing aging. But one post I saw last night, which like filled my heart full of just tears and joy and happiness, was that it's going to be there's like 3 settings on these med beds, and one of them is for trauma. It's literally going to be able to take any trauma, any abusive, traumatic experiences that one has had in their lifetime away. This is the Bible verse, brothers and sisters, that every tear will be wiped away from their eyes and they're going to forget every bad thing that happened. So all these children, brothers and sisters, that's how they're going to be healed. Because they're going to have their hearts, their minds cured and healed and protected and sealed. And none of that garbage will ever affect them again. Because you've got to remember, it was done in their physical body. So their physical body is going to be created perfect without imperfection. And their memory and trauma will be immediately taken away. Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, this is the golden age, baby. Today, the 19th of November 2024, is the official start of the day of Aquarius. Jesus himself, when his disciples asked him, where shall we go and prepare the Passover dinner for you? He says, go into the house where the man is standing with a pitcher of water. Go in that house. That's the Aquarius house. That is literally the Aquarius house. Go into that house. I'm telling you, something's about to go down. Something good and wonderful is about to go down. The amount of people, Iran and Putin and Ukraine and all that, they've already come to Trump, said, yeah, we want peace. Kim Clement said that in 2007 that Trump was going to bring peace to the world. This is the first time in history that we're going to celebrate Christmas with peace to the world. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Yes. Let earth receive her peace. Yeah. Oh, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, this is why God's like, girl, 2024 Christmas is going to be your Christmas, and I've been so excited. I've already got the tree up. 1st November it went up. Oh, man, I'm just so excited for Christmas, and now I know why, because we're going to have the first Christmas of world peace. And this is another thing I want to touch on, brothers and sisters, coming back to my picture. Okay, this is very important. Thank you, Father. World peace. We're going to get world peace for Christmas. Meanwhile, those on the 3D timeline, this is extremely important, brothers and sisters. They are not going to experience world peace. And this is why there was prophecies of when Trump gets in, there's going to be World War III. And when Trump gets in, there's going to be world peace. It's because of these 2 timelines, brothers and sisters. Choose today who you're going to serve. Not that you're going to be serving Trump, but you know what I'm saying. Choose today which train you're going to be jumping on. But this is exactly how brilliant they are. And this proves, to me, it proves my theory that the book of Revelation is their ultimate last go at stopping that inevitable timeline. I think the book of Revelation was their shot at plan B in inevitable timeline. So in other words, the reality is peace, justice, and we're going to be, evolving and going to the new earth. So they're like, crap, let's just make up some crap that keeps them in fear, that motivates them through the centuries to obey and, all the things. I'm telling you, that book of Revelation, you can prove it, brothers and sisters. For one, there's like the Geneva Bible. Go to the Geneva Bible translation. Look at the footnotes where it talks about the mark of the beast. It was Nero. The scroll that you carried around in the marketplace so you could buy and sell was called a Libias. They had that. It's already been. Okay, and then also too, why is John measuring a temple where God and his worshippers are, but then he's told to leave out the outer courts because it's going to be trampled on for 42 months, which happens to be exactly the amount of time that the Gentile Romans trampled on Jerusalem for 42 months, 3.5 years. This has all already happened before. Why is John seeing a slain lamb on the dinner table? Because, brothers and sisters, there is a Luciferic, Judaic, Freemasonic agenda. That's their last draw, their last yeehaw to try and sway the masses. And they've got masses. The amount of people that are like, Trump's evil, Trump's the Antichrist, he's bringing in peace, you watch it. When they say peace and safety, sudden destruction. Brothers and sisters, look at it. Look at the tangible evidence, what he's doing. Look at what he's doing. He is literally saving the world. You are going to be, if you choose to come over to this side, the 4D, and see the goodness that this man is bringing, your world ahead, your so-called future ahead, is going to be incredibly wild, like beyond your imagination. But if you choose to go down the religious Book of Revelation, fear-mongering, I'm telling you, you're going to be stuck, brothers and sisters. And I want you, I love you. You know, there's a reason why God put me as a fervent, fanatical Christian for so many years, and why I got, you know, pretty good following. You know, people love the rapture. I could make a video about a rapture today and get tens of thousands of views. But ever since I'm talking about the stuff I'm talking about, I get maybe 600-800 views. But it doesn't matter, because I know the ones that need to hear it will hear it. So, yeah, but everything Trump does, you know, the bad side, this side could say, oh, that's evil of Trump. Like, you know, when Trump signs the Abrahamic Accords, you know, this side's evil. If Trump signs, anyway, I'm not going to get into it. It's not about that. But just know, brothers and sisters, there is two ways of looking at things. And you've got to realise that quicker, sooner rather than later, because we're, like I said, all aboard. So, quick, jump on the train. All right. So there's med beds, right? They work on frequency. And you can prove this is true too, because remember the lady, the opera lady who would, and break the glass. The reason she could do that is her pitch was, it met the frequency of the glass. That glass remains in that pitch, because nothing else can come near it. It stays solid. Everything's a freaking, oh my goodness, it's making everything so much more sensible. Like, it just makes sense. Okay, so the same with the big C disease, okay, it's proven to be destroyed by 100 to 300,000 hertz. Now, this is exactly why these med beds are coming, because this is a non-invasive, non-intrusive frequency energy related healing. So people that have these sicknesses, brothers and sisters, I'm talking about lost limbs that they can put on. This is out of this world, and they need someone with the geniusness of, like, what's his name, Elon. And this is why Trump said we've got to look after our geniuses, we've got to protect them. You know, and then the same thing here with another one, with the Bitcoin. And, you know, the global financial system, the Sarah Gracera, you know, the Christian sides will be like, oh, that's the mark of the beast, you know, getting us ready for digital currency. Brothers and sisters, don't you realise that the evil elite, the wicked, have been running the show because of the fiat money? It needs to be destroyed. Once that fiat money, the cash money, is destroyed, they can't do their little rings, their little pedo rings, if you know what I'm saying. They can't be doing all this transfer of fiat cash, you know, and money, because it's not even real anyway. Their quantum financial system will be going to be backed by gold and silver yet again. And do you know how much wealth? But here's another thing. Okay, here is another thing. It is said that the wealth of the wicked The wealth of the wicked will be stored up to the end at the end of days and be given to the meek of the earth. The meek who will inherit the earth. Let's focus on that. The meek are going to inherit the earth, brothers and sisters. We're not going to inherit heaven. We're inheriting this earth, which will become new again through the dissolving of the wicked. Okay, this is absolutely going to be just, yeah. Anyway, med beds are going to be friggin' fantastic. Okay, so I just said that about the memory. Okay, what did I write here? The Mandela effect was a way to help prepare us to recreate our memories. Yes, okay. Okay, so yeah, the Mandela effect was, got to remember I wrote this a week ago, so I'm trying to scoot my head back to where I was. Mandela effect was a way to help prepare us to recreate our memories. Yes. Okay, because something Bashar also talked about is the fact that because we're only in the moment now, there is no past and no future, we can literally create our own memory of the past of anything we want. So we've had, if you remember something traumatic in your past, you can turn that off now. You can say, no thanks, I choose a different program. It works like this. When you sit down and watch your favourite show, I'm just going to say Desperate Housewives, okay, just because it came into my head. You're sitting there watching that show on TV, right? Is there not 100 other channels going on in the background? But because you don't see it, they don't exist, right? This is the same thing. So the Mandela effect, like every wherever sin is, grace abounds more so. So whatever they tried to do to F us up, brothers and sisters, the grace and the beauty and the awareness came from it. Okay, this is why good always wins. So the Mandela effect was a way of preparing us to know that we can recreate our own memories. So I wrote here the Bible verse, every bad memory will be wiped away. So our new reality will eventually only reflect a positive past, present and future, i.e. being now, heaven on earth. Anyway, when you sit down to watch a show, this is what I just said. When you sit down to watch a TV show, you know at any given moment there's also hundreds of other channels playing. This is exactly like us. There's no future, no past, only now. Every moment that's ever happened to anyone is always happening right now. People will say, photos prove there was a past. But you are actually holding the photo right now. Do you get it? You're actually holding that photo of the so-called past right now in the present. So how do you know it was in the past? All right, so the past and the future are both created from the present. Yes. Okay, the past and the future are both created from the present, not the other way around. So literally, if you live by this mentality, this will get rid of any stress. Just say you're a mum, right? You're tired. Your kids are at school, you're tired. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have a nap. I should be doing this. Brothers and sisters, the only moment that is valuable is right now. The only person that is in existence is you right now. So if you want to go have a nap, go friggin' have a nap. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this just takes away all the stress of, oh, what if? And I should be doing this. And what if? No, because you are all that exists. Me blabbering on here is an extension of your thoughts as well. It's just on a different timeline. Because effectively we all know the same stuff. We just are all different pieces of puzzles blabbering on until we all connect and make. This is why they hate unity, brothers and sisters. They don't want us to connect, because as soon as we start connecting and going piece, 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 piece to a puzzle and putting them all together, they're stuffed. Okay, so this is why you got to live in complete joy. You got to make every single moment, because every single moment is now, and it's only ever now. So if you don't live in joy now, it's so hard to explain. But anyway, so all right here. The eyes are the apparatus to see, and the pineal gland is actually like the projector or the consciousness, okay? That's our projector. So we use our eyes as like little rendering screens. Okay, this is probably why, when they say the eyesight is upside down and our eyes have to flip it and all this. This is like a projector, okay? So listen to this. Seek the kingdom of heaven first, then all shall be given to you, right? That's what the Bible says. So what does Jesus say? The kingdom of heaven is something you cannot observe. It's within you. So this proves that we project our own reality, whether it's heaven or hell. Because the kingdom of heaven is something you should be seeking first. And then once you have sought out and found the kingdom of heaven, where is it? It's in you. 1 + 1 = 2, baby. You've got to seek inside yourself first, and then everything else will be given to you. This is the real, true manifesting law of attraction, all the things. You got to find yourself and love yourself and forgive yourself first, then all the material things, the things that Jesus was talking about, like clothes and, things to eat and drink and stuff. All the things that humans worry about. That'll all be given to you. You'll have all of that. You'll have abundance. But seek yourself first, which is the kingdom of heaven. Create your own heaven first by love, forgiveness, and joy. And then watch the abundance of goodness come into your life. This proves that we project our own reality, heaven or hell. The 2 greatest commandments: love God with all our heart and love each other. Okay, that is the highest vibe we can live by loving Father and loving each other and loving ourselves. All right, I wrote here, the sun was always fake. Okay, the sun was always fake. Just now we are awake to the simulation. So they had to replace the old sim. Okay, they had to replace that old simulation because people started waking up. And they did that on April the 8th, 2024, okay? And with the new one, which is digital, therefore we're able to see through the lie, okay, which is the digital tech. The digital tech was allowed for us to see hidden things. Because you notice with all the new digital phones and stuff, you can see things that normally we couldn't see before. And so the fake sun, the simulated sun, because this whole thing is a dream, brothers and sisters. It was always fake. It's just that now we're breaking out of this system, so they're like, shit, we better put something there that can mimic the illusion. And as you can see, it's not doing a very good job. Okay, Revelation's events were their last timeline, like I explained before. They knew that there was one inevitable timeline, that was the Great Awakening and all that stuff, so they're like, let's write the book of Revelation and keep people stuck in doom, okay? And that's why you can pray a blessing over your food and make it okay. Same way an old lady can smoke and drink in her 90s because it's okay. No stress. This is why they tell us these things are bad for us. Then we believe them. I think that's what I wrote. Well, it's so true though. Remember the old ladies, the old men that you see at the shopping centres, and they're buying their packet of smokes and they're buying their brandy and they're fit as a fiddle. You know why? Because they haven't been brainwashed. This is a meat suit. This is why it says in the Bible too that don't judge any man on what he eats or he drinks, or his Sabbath days. It's only what's important, what comes out of the mouth, that's important. So, yeah. All right. So, what did I write here? The old money system will fall or crash, and Christians will see it as part of the beast system. Okay. And those of us in 4D will know it's part of the plan of the quantum financial system, and it needs to be which can be implemented and the wealth distributed globally. I saw an awesome pic the other day. This is how they're going to get all the immigrants to go home to their own country, is because everybody in the world, bar the wicked, evil elite, everybody in the world is owed lots of money, brothers and sisters. This is what the Bible said. All the money of the wicked will be stored to give to the people. Okay, everybody will be owed lots of money, and that's why we're going to go over to a new financial system. We have to get rid of the old because it's run by the wicked. Okay, and that's going to appear in their own bank account in their own country. That means they have to go home. If they want the money, they're going to go home, and they will gladly. Anyone who's got $1 million in their bank account, I can guarantee will go home within 24 hours. That's how they're going to do it peacefully, without the riots, and it's brilliant. Our birth certificates, brothers and sisters, do you know that that's why it's got a big number on it? Because they exchange it in the stock exchange. We're actually a commodity. That's why our name is written in capital letters. That's why the name Jesus is written in capital letters in Matthew 1. Okay? They're trying to make a corporation out of everything. So we've got a lot of money coming for us. We've got a lot of health. We've got longevity. We're going to have peace on earth. We're going to have the best Christmas ever. We're going to have no wars, brothers and sisters. We're going to have all those children are going to be rescued and cured and healed from the inside out. It's just, I'm telling you, it's paradise. Okay, so what else did I write? Same with Elon. People say he's evil because of Neuralink. Okay, but did you get this? Because I used to be one. Oh, Elon made the Neuralink, the chip in the head. That sounds like the mark of the beast. But did you know that he made that to cure paraplegics and the blind? That's literally why he made that. So that he could, because a paraplegic it's a severing of a nerve. Some nerves don't work properly. And he's been able to discover that he can actually fix that nerve or replace it electronically and cure blindness and paraplegic, this is what I mean. If you're on timeline 3D, you're going to see Elon as, he's bringing in the mark of the beast with the Neuralink, and Trump is, he's bringing peace and sudden destruction. But if you're on the good side, it's like, yes, all the people who've been destroyed by the jib jab. Oh my goodness, I can't wait for my dad. My dad is a shell of a man. Since he had that, he just sits there and just stares now. I can't talk to him. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it, but this is what these med beds are here for. They're going to cure the world. They're going to cure the world, brothers and sisters. This is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Okay, AI, another thing. All the Christians, AI, the artificial intelligence is going to take over the world. Okay, AI in the 4D world is awesome. Okay, AI in the old world is bad. Okay, because AI in the 3D world is going to be like the cyborg takeover, and the robots going to take over and all the scary things, right? And the 4D people will know that there is anything different to their own reality. What did I write that for? Basically, I think for the good side, what AI is showing us now is the possibility. The possibility, brothers and sisters. If an AI can know this information, you can ask it and it can write out a whole report for you in 30 seconds. That's an AI. Imagine when we get our full knowledge back, our full comprehension back, our full mind usage back. We don't, I'm telling you, this is going to be wonderful. Alright, the last trump. Okay, Matthew 23:14. Woe to those teachers of the law. Okay, teachers of the law are religious preachers, pastors. Okay, it's the people stuck in Christianity. You take away the key because you yourself are not entering in. Matthew 16:19. I will give you the keys to the kingdom. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. So let's bind the evil ones. Okay, let's bind the evil ones. Oh, I've got a conversation I want to share with you, talking about binding the evil ones with my beautiful sister, Linda. We were talking today and had this awesome revelation. We're talking about... Oh, my sister showed me this video, right? And in this video, this guy was talking about on every planet, these evil ones, they pretty much try and set up this satanic AI worship known as Satanism. Okay, they pretty much do that on every planet. The evil ones, that's what they do. They put pentagrams wherever they're trying to take over and all this kind of stuff. And then I thought about it, and I thought, the videos I've been doing about how I'm saying Yahweh is not our Father in heaven, and his original name was Sin, S-I-N, and hence, which makes a lot of sense, where sin came from. Okay, he was our physical meat suit body creator. Okay, but his original name was Sin, and that's where it came from. Now, when you look at Mount Sinai, which is Sin and S-I-N and then A-I, I'm like, damn. All right, and so I wrote, amazing. He said Okay, I'll start again. Amazing when he said every planet these evil ones go to, they worship a satanic AI known as Satan. Now, Mount Sin AI, or Sinai, makes much more sense. And I said to her, we need to destroy that mountain. And I put a little laughy face there, right? And then I'm like, oh my goodness, sister, what if that's the mountain Jesus said we could move if we had the faith the size of a mustard seed? And she's like, oh my goodness, that makes sense. Maybe let's meditate and focus and destroy that mountain. Mount Sinai, Mount Sin AI. Okay, this is talking about creating the reality you want to live in. Getting rid of all that bullcrap and darkness and shit. Okay, so this is here. I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. So let's bind the evil ones. Let's destroy that mountain. Okay, whatever you shall loosen on earth will be loosened in heaven. So religious teachers can't get into the kingdom of heaven because the meanings of the parables are lost to them. Matthew 23:13-14. Woe to the teachers. Okay, meaning of the rapture. The first meaning, a state, or this is in the dictionary now. The meaning of the rapture, a state or experience of being carried away by the overwhelming emotion. And the second is a mystical experience in which the spirit is exalted to a knowledge of divine things. What does it say in Daniel? Knowledge will be increased. This is what the rapture is, brothers and sisters. It's a mystical experience in which the spirit is exalted to a knowledge of divine things. This is why, people who say, oh, these new ages, they're always like living on cloud nine. They're always happy. Yeah, because we create that. We want our life to be happy, to be floating around on clouds, to be joyful, to talk to the animals, to do all those things. And then my sister Linda again sent me this thing, 84,000 books recovered under the Vatican. That sent me on a huge rabbit hole. Now I've got to try and wrap this up a bit quick because it's getting on a bit in time. 11:11. Sorry, 1:11 it was the time. So this must be a good sign. All right. So when they showed this, when my sister showed me this article of the 84 books being recovered, I couldn't find an actual article. It was just a screenshot of the picture. But anyway, I came across this site called victorianweb.org, and it has a picture called Christ with Mary Magdalene, and the picture is of him with her, with Mary Magdalene, and she's pregnant. Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, what you're about to find out is going to change your world. The bloodline of Jesus still exists, okay? This is why there is no death story. This is why they made up the birth story and the death story. Mark is the original one. The Gospel of Thomas actually is Q source, the number one source. And not once in there did he die. Not once. Okay? He wasn't crucified. He didn't be resurrected. All those things. I think that's the Jews' way of adding Egyptian stories onto, to try and steer the course of justice, basically. Long story short, there's a bloodline of Jesus, brothers and sisters, okay? And when you look at this story of the Anunnaki and all this kind of thing, there was Enki and Enlil, and I don't know which one was which, but one of them was good, right? And one of them was like, they tried to destroy in Noah's flood. They tried to destroy humans, and the other ones were like, crap, I feel sorry for them. We actually created them. We should give them a chance. We'll help them a little bit until they can, do this on their own. So that particular good Anunnaki, it is said that he manipulated our DNA code so that there was a secret on our DNA code that would become unlocked, that would show us the secrets of the universe. Okay, so we had, and this, oh my goodness, this could be exactly why they show, how they show the DNA and they're like, oh, the word Yahweh's in the DNA. Oh my goodness. That proves it. That literally proves it. Does it not? Like, I know I say that Yahweh's a bad one, but, it was kind of like God and all that, they're titles, okay? They're titles, but there was one good one, and that's why he helped Noah to supposedly make this ark and escape, right? Because there was one good one who thought that wasn't fair. We created these humans. The least that we could do is help them, like, evolve a little bit. And so apparently there's this secret locked up code within us, within our DNA, that's going to be revealed at the end of time. And this is the Great Awakening. Daniel even says knowledge will increase. Oh, okay. And then I talked about the womb and the embryonic sac that we are in for 9 months as a baby, as an alien. Okay, I'm telling you, there are creators, brothers and sisters. It's not as much as a shock as you'd first think. It's not that bad. We still will always belong to Father. Always. He has our spirit. We're going to go home soon. We're gonna wake up and have a good laugh. So don't stress. Don't stress. But the reality is, it makes so much sense. This is why we could breathe underwater, and it's probably a funny thing. It's probably why they tell us we can't drink salt water either. I wonder if there's a rabbit hole I'm gonna go down. Anyway, let's have a look. I really should get a move on here. Where's my other notes? Do I have anything else? No, that was my last one. I think I've got some notes in my phone I just quickly want to go over with you before I finish up here. Okay, so there's... Oh, I can't believe I was going to forget to tell you this. Okay, because I was getting back to this whole, Christ with Mary Magdalene being pregnant thing, and then looking into the bloodline of Jesus. Me and my sister almost had a heart attack. Literally, we both had to have an afternoon nap because we were like, woof, this information is just too much, girl. But so it turns out that there's plenty of books out there, plenty of evidence out there to say that, that Mary and Jesus went over to France, to Provence, and that's where they escaped from, Jerusalem and all that kind of stuff, and they had children. And it lists the ancestries, like the Charmaines and all the different ancestries, or the lineage or bloodline of Jesus, right? So come down the line, and my sister Linda tells me that she's like direct descendant of the Charmaines, and I'm like, okay, what if we're actually not from this planet? Or what if we're actually, anyway, the mind can go places. What I wanted to note was this amazing thing that I came across. I thought, I'm going to have a look at my last name, Bowerly. All right. And I wonder if I've got that picture. No, I'm not going to even attempt to look for it because I'll lose my train of thought. Okay, so my last name, Bowerly, Beauerle. It's a German name, right? And I've always known it meant little farmer. But I thought, I'm going to try and look at my ancestry and see how far back I can go and see if I'm, have an ancestor of anybody of significance in my family. And So I'm looking back, and then I couldn't find too much without me having to pay for these ancestry.com sites and stuff. And so I find this, I go to scroll down and Google a little bit, and then it says original location, original whatever of the name Bowley. And it literally says Bowley comes from the word Swabia. Okay? And I'm like, damn, I've heard that word before, Swabia. And I nearly had a heart attack, brothers and sisters, because as soon as I realised that I'd remembered that word before, it just came flooding back into my head. I'm like, that's Melania Trump. That's where she's from. Remember, I've been telling you in my videos, I'm positive 100% that Melania is Palladian. And she's from this place that is very, very unknown, really. But one thing that's always stuck in my head was there was a picture of the currency, her money currency, and it had 2 UFO ships on it with like 2 alien looking things. But that was their currency, and it always stuck in my head. And I'm like, yep, Melania is a Palladian. And then I'm like finding out that Bowley, literally the origin of that name comes from Swabia, which is exactly where Melania Trump is born. And I'm like, damn girl, I'm a Palladian. that literally would explain why I'm so crazy. But how's this? This is a little side rant to add to this. About, I'd say 2018 or so, I was on Facebook talking to a friend, and there was that trend where you would go use your predictive text, your text in the middle, and you'd write, I was born, and then you had to use predictive text to fill out the rest of the sentence. And so this friend that I was talking to is really trippy. Like he was the one who told me about flat earth, and he was very spiritual beyond what I was at that time. And anyway, so I did it, and we got on the phone one day, and I happened to say to him, because we were talking about how, he was telling me very matter of fact that he wasn't born from here. He was born from heaven. He came down here to do this mission and stuff like this. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And he's like, what? And I said, remember yesterday or the day before you put out a trend to say, I was born, da-di-da-di-da. And he's like, yeah. And I said, mine said I was born in the same place as you were. And then he's like, whoa. And I'm like, whoa. So I've always had this knowing, let's just say, that I'm not from this earth. I do feel like I came here to complete a mission. And I think what I'm doing right now is my mission, is to help others deconstruct out of Christianity and come out of religion. Come out of her, my people. Come out of the Bible, brothers and sisters. The only thing you need is love, charity, grace, mercy, and kindness to all creatures and all people. That's all you need. You don't need any of this other traditional, doctrinal, influential stuff. It's as simple as that. Boy, I think I've covered so much in this video, and I've just ranted the biggest rant. So I hope and I pray that all of this made sense to you and it resonated with you. I hope some of it resonated with you. I hope all of it resonates with you. But I'm so glad I was able to do this big mind dump. Well, that's not a very appropriate word, is it? This big mind drop on you. I hope I didn't bore you too much. And I hope you can take some of this and go off on your own little rabbit holes. But I'm going to leave you with this last word of advice, brothers and sisters, and that is to chill AF. Be chilled AF. No, just it's as simple as that. Just love one another, love yourself, forgive yourself, and just know that the victory's already been won. We just sit back and eat that popcorn, baby. All right, I love you all. God bless you, and if you've got anything to add to any of my theories or wild rantings today, I would love to hear them. I'd love to see them. And yeah, I pray this video has blessed you, and I hope you have a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are in the world. All right, bye-bye. Love you. I just had to say that. I literally stopped at 1:23. Didn't I start this video at 11:23 a.m.? Anyway, just had to add that in. Yeah.